Welcome to Legion Builds, where I guide you on how to bring fictional characters into Dungeons & Dragons. This video and all my content is made possible by my Patreon supporters, and it's dedicated to everyone who subscribes to my channel. I really wouldn't do any of this without you guys, so thank you very much. Check out my Patreon now to help decide next week's new build. We're diving back into the fog of Dead by Daylight with Oni versus Pyramid Head. Today we're bringing in another competitor of the Apex games, Revenant. Born Caleb Cross, the man who would become Revenant was a remorseless and amoral killer. In fact, he was the best killer in all the Outlands. After destroying a family, the sole survivor of the massacre came for Cross, and with poison, ended his career. Taken to Hammond Robotics, Cross was reborn as the dangerous and psychotic Revenant. Now with a robotic body, Revenant is gifted with enhanced strength and speed, as well as built-in weapons. He's also outfitted with numerous skills and abilities that enhance his stealth and movement capabilities. He also has the ability to shut anyone else's powers down. I should say, as writing this, rumors of Revenant Reborn and Update are beginning to surface, so I'm sure this build will still fit. I hope. Hey, it's Gonzo from the future. Revenant is now completely different, and he's more about jumping and climbing. We're still going to be using this build because it's more interesting, and in all honesty, this build still works regardless. Hell, everything Revenant Reborn was already in this build before they announced it. For today's build, we'll be using the Player's Handbook, Xanathar's Guide to Everything, and Eberron Rising from the Last War. We're using standard point array, and we are multi-classing, so keep an eye on minimums should you use another system. We'll start things off with Dex at 15. You are fast, nimble, and very quiet. Con swings in with a 14. You are an unkillable death machine, so we need good HP. Wisdom will be 13. Once more, you are literally designed with good things, like good senses. This is also a minimum. Strength comes in with 12. Your signature move is thrusting your hand through a person's chest. That takes some force. Intelligence will be low at the 10, and we're dumping charisma. You're just scary. Like, seriously, scary. Revenant is a simulacrum, a human mind implanted into an android body, so we're going with Warforged from Eberron. Though if you use Kobold Press, Gearforged are literally a person reborn into a robot body. I love Kobold Press. Place +2 into Con and +1 into Dex. Constructed Resilience makes your metal body harder to kill. You have advantage on saving throws against being poisoned, you have resistance to poison damage, you are immune to diseases, you don't sleep and can't be put to sleep, you also don't eat, drink, or breathe. Sentry's Rest makes your long rest 6 hours long in which you remain conscious but inactive. Integrated Protection makes your defenses stronger. Your AC is increased by 1, and when you don armor that you are proficient with, it bonds to your body and can't be removed by anyone else, though putting it on and removing it takes 1 hour for you. Specialized Design grants you a free skill and tool proficiency. Take the skill Stealth and whatever tool you wish. For background, take what you want. You're about to get a lot of skills with just your first class. I think you all know where this is going. Level 1 Rogues start things off with 4 skills. Grab, Acrobatics, Athletics, Perception, and Sleight of Hand. When multi-classing with Rogue, try to take Rogue first for all the skills, though sometimes you don't have to. Expertise takes 2 skills you're proficient with and doubles their proficiency bonus. Let's choose Stealth and Perception. Sneak Attack adds damage to your attacks made with a finesse or ranged weapon while you have advantage on the attack, or if the target is within 5 feet of an enemy other than you once per turn. This extra damage starts off at 1d6. Let's talk about weapons real quick. Warforged have access to a common magic item called Arm Blade. This is any one-handed melee weapon that is bonded to your body that you can extend or retract with a bonus action. Or maybe your hand turns into a blade. While the blade is extended, your hand is useless and you can now use the weapon as normal. Just make sure to talk to your DM about this and see if they're okay with giving it to you. And if so, I would choose a short sword. Okay, we need more killing. Level 1 Rangers get another skill when multi-classing into them. Grab Survival in case your targets hide from you. Deft Explorer grants you different features as you level up. At this level, you get Canny, which gives you expertise in 1 skill. Place this into Survival. Favored Foe grants you even more bonus damage. When you hit a creature, you can mark them as your favorite foe, and you must maintain this for 1 minute. The damage they take from your attacks is now increased by 1d4, and this will grow over time. You can use this feature equal to your proficiency bonus between long rests. Level 2 rogues gain Cunning Action. Dash, Disengage, and Hide are bonus actions to you. Level 3 rogues now have their subclass, and it's time to make you an assassin with Thief found in the player's handbook. Yeah, we're going with Thief. Let me explain something. The subclass Assassin is more realistic to what an assassin is. An assassin is not a crazy person who climbs buildings and jumps through windows to scare their targets. We'll get more out of Thief that fits you than we will Assassin. Fast Hands lets you make sleight of hand checks using your thieves tools to open locks or disarm traps, or use object action as a bonus action, though this will rarely come into play. Second story work makes your climbing cost no extra movement. Basically, you have a climbing speed that's equal to your walking speed, but it's not a climbing speed, it's just your walking speed, but you go up. Finally, your sneak attack is now upgraded to 2d6 extra damage. Level 4 rogues earn our first ability score improvement, but we need a feat. The Apex Games uses guns, so let's give you guns, except we're not giving you guns. Crossbow Expert lets you ignore loading properties of crossbows that you can use. Being within 5 feet of an enemy doesn't cause disadvantage on ranged attack rolls, and when you make an attack action, you can use your bonus action to fire a hand crossbow. If your DM actually uses good firearms, take Gunner, which is basically this, but it adds +1 to Dex. Level 2 Rangers receive a fighting style. Dueling adds +2 damage when you hit with a melee weapon in one hand, or maybe it is your hand, and you are holding no other weapons. Spellcasting makes you a half-caster. This means it takes you longer to learn spells. Starting out, you have 2 spells. For your spells, Zephyr Strike is a bonus action that gives you advantage on one weapon attack. When you make the attack, it deals an extra 1d8 force damage, and your speed is increased by 30 feet until the end of your turn. You must maintain the spell for 1 minute, which means you can't use it with Favored Foe. You know what else you can't use with Favored Foe? Hunter's Mark is a bonus action that marks an enemy within 90 feet while you maintain the spell for 1 hour. Once a creature is marked, all your attacks deal an extra 1d6 damage, and you have advantage on survival and perception checks made to track the marked creature. If the creature drops to 0 before the spell ends, you can use your bonus action to transfer the mark to another creature within 90 feet. Now, while you can't use Favored Foe and Hunter's Mark together, it's still good to have both. Favored Foe doesn't use a spell slot, and by the end of this build, it will be as good with damage as Hunter's Mark, but Hunter's Mark will be better for tracking people you hit. So when you need to save spells, use Favored Foe. Level 3 Rangers gain their subclass, and we're going to make you an even better killer with Monster Slayer. Slayer's Prey lets you designate one target within 60 feet as your prey. Now when you hit them, you deal an extra 1d6 damage. This lasts until you finish a short or long rest. Hunter Sense lets you find your target's weakness. With an action, you can choose one target within 60 feet. You immediately learn if they have any damage immunities, resistances, or vulnerabilities and what they are, unless they're hiding with Divine Magic. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier between long rests. Monster Slayer Magic grants you free spells at certain levels. For this Slayer spell, Protection from Evil and Good grants you protection from aberrations, celestials, elementals, fiends, fays, and undead for 10 minutes while you maintain this spell. While protected, the creatures I have listed have disadvantage on all attacks against you. You can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them. If you have already been possessed, charmed, or frightened, you have advantage on the saving throws to end it. Primeval Awareness grants you enhanced senses to know if there are any aberrations, celestial, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, or undead within 1 mile by spending a ranger spell slot. None of these fit you, but if you don't want Primeval Awareness, you can also choose Primal Awareness, but I don't think it fits you. You don't really seem like an animal person. For your new spell, Jump triples your jump distance for 1 minute. Level 4 Rangers earn another ability score improvement. Bump up Dex for better attack, damage, AC, and stealth. Level 5 Rangers now have extra attack. You can attack twice with a single attack action. You also gain second level spells. For your Slayer spell, Zone of Truth creates a 15-foot radius sphere out to 60 feet from you for 10 minutes. Every creature that enters it or is in the sphere must make a charisma save. If they fail, they can no longer lie, and both you and them know it. They can avoid telling the truth, but any words they say must be truthful. For your Ranger spell, Pass Without a Trace adds +10 to your stealth, and anyone you want that is within 30 feet of you for 1 hour while you maintain this spell, and you leave no tracks or a visible trail as you go. Level 6 Rangers receive a new feature from Deft Explorer, Roving. Your movement speed is now increased by 35 feet and you gain a swimming and climbing speed equal to your walking speed. Your favorite foe is now upgraded to a D6 of extra damage. Level 5 Rogues gain Uncanny Dodge. You can now use your reaction to halve damage you take when you can see what is causing you the damage. Your sneak attack is now upgraded to 3d6 extra damage. Level 6 Rogues now have 2 more expertise. Place this into Athletics and Acrobatics. Level 7 Rogues receive Evasion. This improves your dex saves, so now you take no damage on a successful save and half damage on a failure. Your sneak attack has been upgraded again to 4d6 extra damage. Level 8 Rogues earn another ability score improvement, but let's grab another feat. Shadow Touch adds +1 to Wisdom and grants you 2 spells from the Illusion or Necromancy school. You can cast these spells once per long rest without a spell slot, or with spell slots whenever you want. For these spells, Inflict Wounds is a melee spell attack that deals 3d10 necrotic damage and can be amped up by casting it at higher levels, adding 1d10 for each level, meaning you'll be able to deal 5d10 necrotic damage by hitting people with your weird blade hand at the end of this build. Invisibility turns you invisible for 1 hour while you maintain this spell. This spell ends early if you attack or cast another spell. Level 7 Monster Slayer Rangers now have Supernatural Defense. Now when your Slayer's Prey forces you to take a save, or when you attempt to break a grapple they have on you, you add a d6 to the roll. For your new spell, Silence creates a 20-foot radius sphere of pure silence within 120 feet of you for 10 minutes while you maintain this spell. Any creature within the sphere can no longer hear anything or be heard and is immune to thunder damage. Use this to dead stop any creature's abilities that require vocal components, such as spells. Level 8 Rangers earn another ability score improvement, Cap Off Dex. Level 9 Rangers gain 3rd level spells. For your new Slayer spell, Magic Circle creates a 10-foot radius, 20-foot tall cylinder of energy out to 10 feet from you for 1 hour. When you cast this spell, you choose one of the following creature types: Celestial, Elementals, Fey, Fiend, or Undead. Now that creature cannot enter the cylinder willingly by non-magical means, and if they attempt any magical means to enter, they must make a Charisma save to do so. The creature has disadvantage on attacks against creatures within, and the creatures within can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed. You can also reverse this and use it as a trap. For your new spell, Conjure Barrage turns your crossbows into machine guns. Now when you fire a piece of non-magical ammunition, you release a 60-foot cone. Any creature within the cone must make a dex save or take 3d8 damage on the shot as it duplicates a hail of crossbow bolts. Level 10 Rangers receive their final feature from Deft Explorer. Tireless lets you give yourself temporary HP equal to 1d8 plus your Wisdom modifier with an action. You can do this a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus between long rests. You can also now decrease your level of exhaustion by 1 with a short or long rest. Nature's Veil lets you turn yourself invisible with a bonus action until the start of your next turn. You can do this a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus between long rests. Level 11 Monster Slayers now have Magic User's Nemesis. When you see a creature casting a spell or teleporting within 60 feet of you, you can use your reaction to stop it. Forcing a Wisdom save should they fail, the spell or teleportation is done and wasted. You can use this feature once per short or long rest. For your final spell, take what you want. Our final level is Level 12 Ranger, and you earn our final ability score improvement. Place this into Wisdom for better senses and spell DC. Now that we've hit level 20, let's recap. Your stats are Strength 12, Dex 20, Con 16, Intelligence 10, Wisdom 16, Charisma 8. Your total levels are Rogue 8, Ranger 12. Let's dive in. You are one sneaky, scary SOB. Your stealth is +17, you can bring that to +27. You can also turn invisible multiple ways and hide with a bonus action. Your movement is great with the ability to double your jump distance, increase your moving speed, and the ability to climb incredibly well. Your attack is also great. Your attack is +11 and you're dealing 1d6 +5, and You can then add 4d6 sneak attack damage plus several other d6s. You also have a deadly attack that deals 5d10 necrotic damage on a hit, or unleash a barrage of shots dealing 3d8 piercing damage. Finally, you can just shut down people. You can trap them in a cylinder, take their voice away, or just cancel their spells out. Downside. Firstly, your magical damage is reliant on spells, and you have limited spell slots to do that with. This, of course, will be ignored if your DM gives you your Arm Blade, which is a magic weapon that just doesn't add damage unless you upgrade it later. In all honesty, you're going to get a magic weapon eventually, even if they don't give you your Arm Blade. Finally, your charisma is bad, but you have no personality past "I like to hurt people," which will get better if you roll for stats. If you do roll for stats, get your wisdom up because we were unable to cap it off. Here's another upside for you though. Who needs charisma when you are vicious? Nothing will stop you from finding your mark. There are no barriers, no tricks that can get in your way. Just you and your target. Thank you for joining me today. Make sure to like and subscribe to not miss a single new build each week on YouTube and Spotify. And make sure to check out my Patreon where you can help decide next week's new character, Oni versus Pyramid Head.